I think that is good.
All right. Sound the plan.
He says tentatively.
Well, here we go. So last we left our intrepid heroes, they were fighting off a large band of train robbers from the train. We just cleared out the bar and food cart, the last of the would-be train robbers. Fosse has found himself in a train car with two hostiles, while Chavez is just disarmed and caused to surrender one train robber as well, leaving Jericho to be on top of the train running. Every so often everyone's been jerked around by the application of the emergency brake. As the engineer tries to bring the train to a stop. Train movement is actually in a backwards direction. It is traveling rearward. And that's about it.
Have you shared an image?
I guess I haven't. I'm not terrible. Well.
Alrighty.
Everyone has the image?
Yep.
Alright. So.
Are we interrupting the time stream here? Or, oh, all you did was just stick Fosse in there and we're continuing on?
Yep.
Very well.
Fosse basically will have slipped in and taken just a wee bit of cover at this point and attracted the attention of these two gentlemen who don't look like they're happy that Fosse's in the cart with them.
Or gentlemen. What is our current ground speed?
11.
Are we decelerating yet?
Yes, but it is
right.
It is occurring slowly, like it's every
right,
so often
we were...
you'll feel the brakes apply.
Right, he was jerking it. So does Willie pass out in the middle of combat?
She'll basically take over getting the people, calming people down if somebody asks her to.
Who is that?
That should be Willie.
I don't recall from last week.
Oh, Willie is.
The guy that Chavez was dealing with, did he surrender?
Well, you took his gun and told him to surrender.
I don't recall if he actually did.
Yes. At least he is not actively trying to swing at you. This, his last round kind of did the freeze movement and started to raise his hands as per your order.
Alright, so are we going by turn order?
Shove him off the train, Chavez.
Yep, so we're starting off with Chavez.
Pacifism cannot harm innocence.
He's not an innocent, is he?
No, he's not. Chavez is going to direct the guy to stand in that hex facing the logs, I assume they are.
Should probably bear in mind that we're not actually moving all that fast right now. So if he were to be encouraged to leave the train, it's probably not going to kill him.
Yeah, but then he's probably going to be, able to get up and do stuff as well. So,
yeah, but that's going to be miles away.
So Chavez will direct him to stand in that hex facing the logs.
All right.
And if he does, then next turn Chavez will pistol whip him unconscious. So, we actually received a comment in the YouTube saying that we should roleplay the dialogue a lot more. So Chavez will say, "You there? Step over here. Face the logs."
Yeah, not all of us are method actors.
Not all.
And he'll be sort of pointing with the barrel of the pistol.
Whatever you say, you Mexa Indian. He'll move. He'll start to make his maneuver over to there.
Chavez will sort of, glare at him a little bit sideways.
He'll call you half-breed.
I ought to pistol whip you.
Really dumb. Seems really dumb to piss off the guy who's holding you at gunpoint.
He's very intelligent, that guy.
Okay, valid point.
Alright, Slate.
All right. Do any of the adult civilians look alert and not completely freaking out?
Most are like kind of cowering down, holding children, leaned against the side of the train, and since there's obviously the smell of gunpowder in the air. It's pretty thick in here, having Wallinger and Willie, and the other, unloose shot after shot at each other. So there's a couple coughing, but it's kind of you have that moment of quiet calm where everyone's kind of like doing the slight whimpers from children and etc. But everyone seems to understand that whatever just happened is over for now.
All right. Well, if there's anybody actually like looking around, like situational awareness wise, that's the person I want to engage.
Yes, you actually do see a woman.
Good.
She seems a little bit more calm than the rest, I guess you could say.
Perfect. I will catch her eye and say, "Ma'am, did you see how many of them there were total?"
One moment, I will actually show you a photo. At least I was pretty certain I had a photo for her. And you may give me a local
You should
area.
actually name your photos.
Oh,
It is me.
Miss Everwood, it's you.
Yep. And she looks dressed a lot fancier than you remember her from way back from quite a number of years ago.
What, does she have an answer?
It's like, well, as I live and breathe, Slate. What brings you here? And then she kind of looks around at the others looking at with you, and then her eyes kind of grow a little narrow when she sees Sarah. And well, and she's like, and then she kind of looks back to you and says, "Not quite sure how many these varmints have been on here, but I haven't seen their leader in a little while. He went towards the back of the train after they shot all those poor soldiers."
We all hunker down right here. We're going to take care of it. And next turn, he'll start moving.
Right.
Okay, so what is going on in my train?
Okay, you kind of slipped into the train initially unnoticed, and they've seen you, but you've got the drop on them this round. It's because you have first action before they do.
Okay.
They know you're in the train with them, but you slipped in, and on their turn, they kind of turned and saw you. So everyone's getting ready.
How does fanning work? Because I'd like to try to shoot them both.
Fanning, let's see.
There was a penalty, and I think it was just crap. No, I don't remember. We actually looked that up last time.
Can't remember if it's a single extra shot or.
Actually, you should probably check. What he's got a peacemaker, doesn't he?
He has a rate of fire of 2 already.
Yeah, you don't need to fan.
But I want to shoot both of the guys.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
just a
basically,
rapid strike.
Yeah.
So it's
They
basically
are considered within a hex of each other, so
Quick,
Isn't there-
it's quick shot is what it is specifically, but all that is rapid strike. It's -6 per, same as usual.
Sweet. Oh, so it's not like a rapid fire weapon that area you select 2 spaces.
No, it's not like it's not auto fire.
Okay,
Fast-
so it's basically 1 shot -6, 1 shot -6, or
Yeah, quick shot. Yeah, -6.
Yeah, then
Yeah,
it can
it's
work.
a ranged rapid strike. What, you can't take that?
Not when you start factoring in all of the other stuff like cover and range.
Well, for the record, that is a technique that can be bought up.
and you do have gunslinger, right? So you
Yeah.
do get your.
I
you get
wonder
your-
if that actually, because it doesn't specifically say that it qualifies for that, but you could probably justify it.
I would say it does. So you'd get your accuracy bonus straight off.
Oh well, yeah,
Yeah.
you get that normally.
Yeah, but the AC is only 2 on these things.
So that
basically
takes care of
counters
it.
that just basically counters the cover.
Correct.
And I didn't max out my combat skills like some people do.
What is Way of the West from Gun Fu?
Oh, it was just the template. I mean, not the template. Yeah, I guess it was a template. Shooting style template. Right. Well, okay. So I'll just shoot one of them. Yeah. So, guy in front. Oh darn! He used to be a trom robber. That was fine.
got a
Poor
lisp.
Jeb.
He's got a heavy accent.
Yeah, just as he comes in, Jeb's like, sort of turning toward, and he's like, "Hello, boys," and then he's gonna shoot the guy.
Okie-dokie. Ouch.
In the face.
In the face. Oh, that is in the face.
Yes, it is in the face. You don't remember Fossey was doing that a lot.
Yeah, I do recall. that now.
You don't need the cover.
Ha! You will actually dodge that.
Boo!
If you're targeting a specific location, you can ignore the cover.
Do you have a character point?
No.
Because you might be able to bump it down. So he does get shot
Oh
in the
yes.
face.
Just so everyone knows, your character points have reset. You do have 2 each. You can gain them through fancy shows.
Character points? Do you mean plot points?
Plot points.
Plot points. Sorry. 2 plot points. You can gain them by doing fanciful things after you've performed the fanciful things, success or failure. So if you do something daring do, succeed or fail,
Okay.
you'll get a plot point at the end after that action.
I would like
Okay,
you to
so-
define what daring do means.
I'll let the characters decide what is daring do.
Right. So what are the benefits of them?
So you can. I think I wrote it down as notes.
Because if I can make him not dodge and take a bullet to the face, I will totally do that.
I didn't put them in note. Let me see. Hold on. I've got them here. I think we had it in the wiki. Daniel encouraged me highly to place it there. Where did we stick that on the wiki there, Daniel?
Oh, right.
I know we had that as a plot point thing.
Actually, I think you can just put in plot points and get there.
Got it. The link. But specifically, you can use 1 plot point to do a reroll.
Manipulate
initially-
result by a step. So I want to turn his success into a failure.
failure. So he will take a bullet to the face.
Ow.
Yeah, that totally need to be one of those that the guy's like, can I help you? Yes. Apparently there are too many bullets in this gun.
Well, let's see. 11 out of PI plus. He has no DR there, so he goes down. I'm not even going to play that game. He is I'll give him. He's either going to be dead or he's going to be completely out. Well, look at that. He's dead. What you need to have, Daniel, is like have some of these outlines with various wounds in locations.
Oh.
So you
Yeah,
like
that's probably
red
taking it to
spot.
the nth degree.
I know it would be. However, I will give you a free intimidate for Dean as you just watched Jeb's head explode in a red mist. Success by 1. He succeeds. Alright. You hear some mumbled voices coming from, Chavez, you hear some mumbled voices coming from the rear train. This actually has, like, the U.S. Army symbol on it and whatnot.
Right up.
Does Chavez recoil from it like a cross?
Hissing the whole time like a vampire.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it's like... Heather,
Those are cannons, right?
Yes.
Loaded.
They are strapped down. No, they're strapped
Pointed at
down.
the US Army wagon.
That would be kind of cool.
I'm going to accidentally trip and set one off.
If they actually carry those loaded like that, they deserve it.
Right. No, these ones are actually not loaded. They're just props.
That's why you're like, screw that. I don't want cannons. I want a freaking Gatling gun.
I actually thought about that, but then I was like, you guys would so totally use that against me.
I
in
would
some crazy
totally
way.
use that.
Alright, so these are cheap set props.
Yep.
So these aren't real army guys.
Well, they're real. Yeah.
It's like we're on a movie or something.
Don't talk to me like a child. I played Hamlet at Cambridge.
What's my motivation?
Dean will take a knee, giving himself half cover, and take a shot at you. And you are.
All right, gotcha.
He will miss. It's a near miss. So you do have cover. So it hits.
Yeah.
It hits
range.
the. So it hits the chair in front of you. Kind of, chunks of wood kind of shatter in your face. But
Well, that
ultimately,
wasn't
no
very
effect.
polite.
And you get that boingy noise.
Pool of blood starts to fill where Jeb was standing. Joe snores mightily, and he takes his step, and you have a gun right on him and a weight, so he will kind of move there and do as you ask. You wanted him to go onto a knee? Or just move?
Just move there.
Okay, he moves there. He spits a big wad of tobacco that hits just near your shoe. Sarah. Heather is definitely there, and you recognize her. Now, you are just rivals, so it is not to the death.
Okay, so I was going to ask, for intents and purposes, for those of us in this cart, is it like considered a post-combat situation?
Yeah, we can treat you guys. So if there's stuff you want to take care of.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. What would you? I don't know. I see what you're saying.
I can
Yeah.
just save that one for later if it doesn't
You
matter
could
yet.
just save it for later. You can
I'll go ahead and
feel it.
roll it then.
You feel it coming up. You know, like you get the pricklies on your arm. Your hair feels like it's standing up, and you can feel your heart just beating a little faster.
Oh,
And
come on.
Heather,
It's the result is to faint. Can we please do it now? Because it's in front of Heather Everwood, and yeah, it's the perfect time.
okay, so you kind of you feel it, and Slate, you see you kind of out of the corner of your eye, you kind of sense Sarah kind of listing, and Heather's like, "Oh dear, is the sight of blood a little too much for you, dearie?" And that's when that you get that tunnel vision, and you start to just see. You just can't help but focus on the smug look of Heather as your vision starts to go pinpoint, and you go out. It's like Sarah's fading. What you doing?
Okay, yeah, and just on top of that, when Sarah comes in, she's been climbing on top of a train, so her hair is like sticking out everywhere, and her dress is smudged from soot and climbing around a train. So she is a proper mess, and then she just flat out passes out as soon as she spots all the blood on the floor.
It's from all her concentrating on not shooting Miss Everwood in the face.
Okay, so the result of that is to faint for 1d minutes, then roll versus HT each minute to recover. Also roll versus HT immediately. On a failed roll, you take 1 hit point of injury as you collapse.
All right.
So rolling for how long she's going to be out. So she'll be out for 4 minutes.
Well, if she's there to be caught, then she's not going to injure herself.
She succeeded, so she wouldn't take any damage anyway.
Conveniently placed chair.
Exactly. She kind of does the subconsciously reaches for and kind of grabs the arm of the chair, collapses into it.
Big hello to Bruno, who's joined us on the stream.
Hey, Bruno.
All right. So everyone, give me a dex check or acrobatics, or if you have perfect balance, you can not bother. All right, Slate, you're thrown to a knee.
Okay.
Chavez, you're thrown to a knee.
Sarah is passed out, so she would either be cushioned by whatever chair she landed in or fail automatically, I'm assuming.
She'll collapse. Yeah, it's a movie, and the director doesn't want to see the women getting hurt, so she falls into the chair and then just kind of gets jostled a little bit. But other than that, she's fine.
I was going to say you could make it a health check on the chair.
Are you saying she's fat? Really?
Oh, ouch! All right. Let's see. Hold on, I've got to do some guys. Okay, Dean stays standing. And yes! Sean stays standing. And all right, so it's just Slate and Chavez kind of got thrown a little bit by the train. It does feel like it was a little bit more forceful. Chavez, you hear from behind the door opening, and this guy presents himself near the door.
Righto.
And he has that kind of like opens the door, and before he can say anything, his eyes just kind of go wide as he sees you with his friend, but doesn't get a chance to say anything as the turn moves. You have taken a knee you've got jostled to a knee.
All right. Since Chavez was forced to a knee because of footing and stuff, and he was getting ready to pistol whip this guy, Chavez has lost his grip on this guy's pistol and it's gone sliding across the deck of the train and off the side.
Okay.
And with the guy appearing, Chavez will go shit and get to a knee and grapple. I can stand and make an attack, right?
Yep.
Alright, so Chavez will get to a knee.
So
Chavez will stand and he will grapple the guy. He'll grapple train robber Sean and try and swing him around and use him as cover for the other guy. You can use brawling for grapple, yes?
No.
So dex only.
Nice perk, though. Whoa!
Oh, well,
Yeah, shame that doesn't really do anything.
Well, it beats his success by 3.
Yeah, he was at a back hex. He didn't have any defense anyway.
Oh, that's true. I guess it's...
How about, since it's a critical, I can just make a straight strength roll and maneuver him into the shielding position.
I'll allow it.
So failed by 2.
Well, I'll just... Well, okay, you're in the same hex, and you've got him grappled. You don't have him swung around, but Ben's going to still have to decide if he's going to shoot at both of you and try and, risk hitting Sean.
What kind of grapple was it?
So it's a two-handed grapple. So, I guess I got one sort of around the upper body, like a sort of tackle almost around the neck, and the other is sort of at the waist, holding him.
Well, my duty is clear. I will rush to Miss Ponte's side.
Okay, sorry. So you can use highest of strength or dex to use them as cover. So in that case, Chavez would have succeeded by 1.
All right.
Anyway.
Done?
Yep.
Okay. Slate will rush to Miss Ponte's side, thinking that she's been shot, and start looking for the blood, start looking for the wound. Say, Miss Ponte!
Righto, so homeboy here has taken a shot at me.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to reorient the thingamajig there. Yes, so, okay. So, Fosse is going to do a move and attack. He is going to dart forward. Let's see, hold on. and in the process, I have no doubt it's going to result in some, springing over some stuff and such like that.
You gonna attempt to get your acrobatics dodge bonus?
No, I don't have acrobatics.
Ah.
I definitely need to frickin' plug in a mouse. This frickin' touchpad is wrong.
Touchpads are wrong.
Well, I guess that's torso?
Yep, fail by 1 hits the torso. You know, I'm gonna sound kind of like a noob GM with Fantasy Grounds. I didn't realize that you could double click the token and bring up the guy's stats.
I didn't know that either.
News.
And he fails.
Oh, that wasn't great.
He only has DR1, so 6 becomes 12.
That must be a feature of core.
It's been like that for a long time.
You could do that in the old set? The pre-core one?
Don't know.
He's barely hanging in there. You hear the tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk of somebody above you running.
Do I know who it is? Please say no.
I don't know why you
Probably
would.
have a good idea who it could be.
I'm gonna shoot at you, Daniel.
Ouch.
No, probably not.
Wallinger can just start making his way back towards the rest of the shooting.
You make it there. Actually, before you get there, Heather reaches an arm out and stops you, parallel to her, and she's like, "Mr. Wallinger, well, I do declare, thank you for coming to our rescue."
My pleasure, ma'am.
And she kind of bats her eyes at you in kind of like a, "Hey."
She's so got to have a fan
Absolutely.
and starts fanning herself.
And you actually hear the scoffing sounds of Willie behind you.
Yeah, I was thinking, you'd mentioned, yeah, we'll have Willie try to calm people down. I'm like, really? How's that gonna work?
Yeah, that's true.
Is she gonna start throwing people out through the window?
Here!
Calm
freedom!
down!
Fly for freedom!
Well, there's a way to raise the average level of calm in a room, and that's to throw out all the stress people, so.
That does make sense.
You remove the stressors. Give me a perception check for Chavez, real quick. Okay. You do see somebody inside the cart as well. Only you only just surprisingly enough saw him through everything. You know how time goes, dilates when you're having fun. Everything's slowed down.
Righto.
Heather lets you go. It's like, please, don't let me stop you, Mr. Wallinger. You do recognize her as the daughter of the sheriff. Supposedly, she went off and tried to get to find a fortune or wealthy husband back in Atlanta area. And Dean. Dean is in pain and in negatives. Now it's the health before he takes action.
Normally, yeah.
So he will still, he kind of like clutching, with one arm, he reaches out and takes a shot at you. Shot goes wild. As both range and his pain and your cover kind of work against him.
And it's going to go in and hit one of those poor civilians in the next car behind me. Or maybe explode the window and scare the crap out of Wallinger.
Surprisingly enough, it would go through. Well, those doors do the opening auto close. They have that spring, so it impacts the wood. It might go through.
Say it goes through, but it doesn't actually do anything.
Everyone
scares
in
the crap
bar
out of everybody.
Yeah. Everyone kind of does the scream as everyone hears like the crack, snap of a bullet going through the side of the train. John will attempt to struggle against you, and he will try and break free of you. Now that you don't have a gun pointed at his back. So
you know
break
that?
free is a wrestle. Well, he saw the guns go sliding off, or he heard the gun hit
Yeah,
and
that's
go
true.
sliding off.
Well, just to make it more dramatic, when Chavez went down and had to sort of stabilize himself, he dropped the gun, and because the other guy was getting his footing, when he sort of slipped back, he kicked the gun and it went sliding off the train.
All right, so your strength versus his wrestling, he does not break free.
I also have a two-hand grapple. I think that gives a bonus of +2 or 3.
5.
5.
Let me go, you stinking half-breed.
You should throw him out the window.
Wilhelm. Sarah.
No ticket.
Sarah is probably still snoozing. I can only make a roll to wake up once a minute.
All right.
Yeah, she's done.
Unless there's a convenient doctor amongst those people.
Actually, the bartender does kind of look like he's reaching for something under the bar to.
He's going for some vodka.
Some
Smelling
kind
salts.
of concoction. Yeah, exactly. He's getting some.
Bartender doesn't have smelling salts.
And
This one
assuming
does.
he's heard Slate's name, he's like, Mr. Slate, I'll get something for her. Just one moment. And everyone needs to give me a dex check.
Bartender knows his name?
Well, because
I
Heather
said it.
mentioned it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't say it. I was about to, but she did.
Dean is already on a knee, so he's probably a little more stable. He won't actually go down.
Slate's at a knee as well.
Roger?
What do you mean? Dean failed. That's a fail.
It isn't fair. He goes onto his butt. How about that?
Yeah, I was totally fine with him being stable.
That's only a fail by 1.
Like maybe he's sort of still kneeling, he's just wobbly.
Watch out for train robber Gabe if he's got a fencing foil.
Yeah, if that's the case, you're screwed.
You don't want none of that.
Vin goes, "Hey boss, I got one out here. He's got shown." And he kind of like has his his what looks like a shotgun, kind of like hesitantly looking and pointing it in your direction.
Alright, so Chavez is going to say, or he's going to shout out, "Hey, that's far enough! You stay there!" Meanwhile, he will fast draw his pistol and take a shot at him.
Alright.
Are those cannons obstacles?
You can. They may give a quarter cover. Not like level
So
1.
minus
cover.
2?
Sure.
Actually, is quarter 1 or 2?
It's GM's discretion. If I remember correctly.
I have to say, the cover tokens seem counterintuitive. I see a shield, and I think the more full it is, the more cover I have.
Oh, well.
But I mean, it's fine. I mean, I get it. We've used them this way, so
I'm not sure how you fix that.
yeah, it's whatever.
I guess if the white's not there, it's transparent. That's a little more intuitive. I may fix that.
Alright, so was it minus 2 or minus 1?
Very light is minus 1.
minus.
Ooh, or make it black instead of white.
So yeah,
So the
GM,
part that's
minus 1.
stands out.
Minus.
Yeah, that'd fix it. To have the blue be the part that pops out.
Oh, you mean reverse the 2?
Or just use black instead of white.
The bullet will go a little low and will hit and bounce, ricochet off the railing of the train right in front of train robber Vin. Chavez will say, "Damn it."
There's a satisfying poing as it does so.
Are you really done this time? Fool me 3 times. Shame on me. Alright, I figure it'll take Slate at least one more second to satisfy himself that Miss Ponty has not in fact been shot.
Right, so I'm going to continue scrambling Fosse's going to continue scrambling forward, weaving back and forth to try to break line of sight. He's going to try to shoot the guy.
And he's going to step on the other guy.
Squish.
He actually probably, he's intentionally doing that because I, wanted to make sure his pistol was nearby.
And from that angle, he's going to have probably less than that cover.
Well,
so.
Considering I'm still doing a targeted attack, doesn't matter. Damn it!
So many 6s.
Yeah, it's still in the chest. It's high in the chest.
Well, if you keep hitting him in the chest anyway.
Plugging away at him, literally. Plugging him.
Why do you have your bulk penalty?
Because there's a move and attack. I moved freaking
gotcha.
6 yards.
Oh, actually,
Anyway,
yeah, you
you
should
fit.
not be. You don't get the act bonus for move and attack, but you don't get the bulk penalty
Ah,
either.
that's right.
Well, those
Same
evened out
difference.
anyway.
Yep.
Which,
in this case,
evens out.
8 becomes 16, right? So
Yes.
he doesn't die.
He's probably had enough, though.
He's done.
he's changed his mind about this career.
He does he lets the gun drop, and he kind of does lets his gun fall, and he kind of does that. He doesn't have much to say because he's like holding like his bullet wounds, his hands all bloody red. But he has that "it's over, I ain't gonna fight you no more" look. He's having a hard time breathing.
Should have been a dentist.
Some more. Thump, 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 thump.
And
Wallinger.
move on with the season.
Oh man,
And
door
he
open.
shoots
I'm
Fossey in the
totally
back.
gonna have to swing around there. I'm like about to shoot him.
Yeah. And you get this guy. He moves up and uses the door for full quarter cover, and he's got a pistol aimed at you. And he's like, "You let our friend go there, and we'll kill you quick."
It's not very good incentive.
Our plot points, are they individual plot points?
Yep, individual. Everyone has 2. And you can use a plot point to do something fancy and gain another plot point back for it. So I will allow that if it's in the activity of doing something.
That is pretty cool, Phil.
In the trailer for that film, there's a scene where
Where
he throws him up in the air, and as he just sort of sweeps his gun across them and reloads that way as well.
Looking forward to that one. I only read the first book, but it was pretty good.
All right, where are we? Oh, let's see. Dean surrenders. Yep. Jeb bleeds. Joe snores. Sean is going to
Struggle.
targeted attack. Heel stomp to the foot. I'm trying to step on your foot. So what is that? It's foot is -4.
-3, I think.
Foot's 4.
He's grappled too. with one hand, so
One hand. How does that affect heals?
minus. I think it's -4 on attacks.
The hands aren't going to matter in this case. He is grappled, so he's -4 dex.
So effective
-4.
Oh, and another -4. Ouch, -8.
Telegraph it.
And he telegraphs it. And he'll all out since he has no other reason not to. So he's at even. So he all out attacks, telegraphs. Yeah, you can feel his leg shift as his leg goes up, attempting to come down on your foot. And that should be even, as it's considered. What it is considered.
You could give him. You could probably give him one more for kicking at his foot. So the kicking versus low line targets.
So -1.
No, +1.
Or improve it by 1.
So that will be a hit because kicking is -2 on brawling.
Okay, so it is. Okay, there you go. So it's a hit, a success by 0. And you shift your foot away just in time.
Snooze.
The bartender, clinks around a little bit. You see him pour a couple things into a glass.
And then he drinks it. What, you thought he was going to help you? There's gunfire going on.
He makes himself a drink, drinks it, and then pops the little glass vial under her nose.
I need it more than
Really
she
awesome.
does.
He takes an aim. Chavez.
So was it Vin took an aim?
Yes, Finn took aim.
When Doc McKenzie opens his bar, he's going to hire that guy for sure.
And the other guy hasn't got aim yet because he moved, right? Okay. He's going to continue to use the guy's cover, and he will. Can Chavez sort of brace his pistol on this guy's shoulder so when it goes off, it explodes in his ear?
Oh, that's just rude.
Ouch.
Is that a possibility?
Kind of awkward because you got him in close, so you'd have to.
Yeah, no. Chavez is just, his pistol's out, sort of under his armpit, and he's going to take a shot at Vin.
Sounds good.
It'd be cool if you could steady it against him, though.
That's right.
I'll give you a brace. Why not? The only other, I'll give you a brace for now. That's fine. It won't explode in his face unless you're kind of like, but.
So that's a hit.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Ouch. So 8 becomes 7, 7 becomes 14.
That's a lot of twos.
And he dodged, so I assume he's lost his aim as well.
And he's out. You shoot him, he kind of does the,
That was a major wound roll, right?
it was. And he kind of falls. Tell me how he falls out. Because he's going down.
Because he was hit in the gut, he sort of buckles over forward over the rail and loses his footing and goes straight down onto the track.
Oh. And you get a
with
Wilhelm.
a Wilhelm.
And as the train's going backwards, we see an arm.
That's rough.
Because this is like tame, so it's just an arm.
Looks really fake looking.
Like in the cantina.
Mannequin arm.
Yeah, mannequin arm goes falling out the side.
Cantina or mannequin.
Just sort of rolls out in the side there.
Alright, Miss Ponty is breathing. There seems to be no blood. So Slate will collect himself, stand, and take a half move towards the back.
Alright.
And over his shoulder to the bartender, he'll say, "You look out for her."
Yes, sir. Mr. Slate.
No, I mean, look out for her.
Right.
She's going to punch you in the face.
She's still got a gun in her hand.
It's not Willie. Right, so I'm going to tell Dean, okay, two things. I'm going to tell Dean to basically kick his weapon away, while at the same time I'm going to change posture to a crouch so I can pick up Jeb, I think it was. I can pick up Jeb's pistol with my other hand. Since I'm ambidextrous, I don't think that's not going to be difficult or anything.
All right. You pick up I think it's a Russian. Smith & Wesson number 344 Russian. Wallinger.
Continue.
So, Chavez, you think this guy's pointing at you, but he lets a gunshot off towards Jericho.
Oh, yeah, and you heard somebody jump down behind you.
There's a thunk and kind of a screech of chain a little bit as the timbers shift just ever so slightly. But you get the nice snap of the bullet as it goes sailing by you both.
I don't know, do we? It's missed by quite a bit.
Okay.
Buries itself into the logs.
Hits one of the logs and makes it fall.
Ooh. You know, this is where the GM needs to have his own plot points. And then it snaps your chains.
Well, you have unlimited plot points. You just tell us what
It's a
happened.
chain. I reckon that's cool.
That's actually a thing in the Marvel role playing system.
It's also a thing in Fate.
Yeah, that's true. If you can create
every point the players spend is a point that the GM gets to spend later.
All right, there's a spark of metal as it goes off nearby you guys. Ha!
Roll damage. If it's really high, it snaps the chain and the logs start sort of rolling out from just that one side.
Could have been a rusty chain.
I don't know. There are 3 chains there.
I thought there's only 2. Oh no, there's 3.
I don't know. That's pretty weak.
It goes
He's
pew.
under stress every time he hits that breakdown. Just saying.
Foreshadowing.
Self up against the wall and just kind of has that, defeated, I'm bleeding look.
I'm dying. I'm dying.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. The bartender, has a concoction and he starts to move around the bar. All right, he's gonna attempt to thrust his head back into your face. I don't know what that is. I guess it's just a brawling.
I just use brawling and.
It'd be headbutt. Headbutt with a -2 because it's backwards.
And he'll do that all out.
It probably says how to do that, but it'd probably take a while to find it.
Roll the dice and see if it matters.
Yeah. So he will do an all out. So I'll just give that. From there.
So it'd at least be -7.
Yeah, he misses. But he's definitely struggling against you. Sarah. Alright, everyone. Sure. Everyone needs to give me a dex check. The train's brakes hits again.
Except Sarah, who's still resting comfortably.
Yep.
Whoops, it rolled it twice.
Oh, man.
Slate just doesn't have, train legs.
Another turn and a half move for the big man.
He's got to get his train legs out underneath him. Then gets crunched under the track some more. Don't.
Does anyone know what the default is for headbutt?
Brawling -1.
And then -5 for the head?
I'm not sure that. I think that might break the usual rule of not. I don't know that. It may not.
I'll find it.
Well, headbutts on martial arts 74. Oh, no, it is. Okay. Right, because you can use it against different targets, so yeah.
Alright, so Chavez is going to headbutt this guy. The guy all out attacked, so he's going to do it at a telegraphed.
He did not all out. Well, yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
So Chavez will telegraph.
I was thinking he didn't telegraph.
So that would be -2 overall.
Well, you had him with his back to you, so he can't really defend.
Missed by 1.
Yeah, your head collides against him, but it doesn't, other than kind of... It was kind of a really, really weak attempt. He shifted, you shifted.
I knock his hat off his head.
That's my favorite hat!
Quit hitting intern when you're not done. Are you done?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I suffer from premature internandulation.
That's
That
right.
was just fail.
I'm told it happens to lots of guys. All right. Slate will regain his footing and stumble further along in the carriage.
Right, round 2 of retrieving the other firearm.
Right.
What all did you do? What all did you do last time? You just crouch down and grab it?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so this one would be the one where you ready it for actual use.
Yeah. So now, I have 2 pistols.
I look like I am hanging off the side, but I am not. I am steadying myself. In fact, I'm not going to move my full move.
Jericho, being that you're kind of were up, you saw a bridge approaching.
Oh, of course. Of course I see the bridge coming. Nobody else does.
Mr. Wallinger.
All right. Let's see. He's going to slam the door and you hear yelling inside the train car ahead.
Dean needs to, pass out.
He passes out.
Because, yeah, he's probably jacked the hell up.
-17. Dean needs food badly.
Gunslinger shot the food.
Right. Sarah, give me a health +4 check.
You just try to shoot Henry in the face.
Alright. All of a sudden, you are like shocked awake by a burning fluid that goes slightly down your throat and a hot scent in your nasal passages. But you like shock awake to this big man like in front of you going, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am. But Mr. Slate said to try and help you out.
Oh, don't put this on me.
Whatever you just drank was awful, and it has an alcohol burn and a pepper burn, and if you knew what wasabi was, it'd be a wasabi burn.
Wow. So yeah, she does the whole coughing, spluttering kind of thing. And then just tries to get her bearings and figure out what happened.
You can see, Willie looks like she's just kind of making sure no bad guys come towards the, where did I grab Slate? Sorry. Come towards the, car.
Let go of me, boy.
And, Slate looks like he's moving, having a hard time with the brakes and everything, moving towards the aft. And Heather has this kind of like amused look on her face after seeing you, imbibe whatever nastiness was just forced upon you. Sean is going to all out telegraph, try and smash her foot again, making that evens. So it's a -2. His kicking skill is at a -2. And fail. Sarah.
She will have not quite realized Heather's expression yet, because the big bartender is blocking her view, and so she will just kind of slightly say, let's see, she'll say, excuse me, I need to stand, I need to stand up, and she'll just kind of like wave at the bartender to shoo him back. Thank you for your help.
He nods and says, yes, miss him, yes, miss him. And can I get everyone's dex check again?
Now, since this is happening at a regular interval, is any kind of bonus?
Sure. I'll give you guys bonuses.
Okay.
Are you scared?
No, I just want to get into the next car.
Let's see.
Everybody made it.
And I'll even say, Sean makes it. But I guess he's kind of being held up by Chavez.
We're getting our train legs under us.
Chavez is going to maneuver himself around a little bit so he's facing the location that Jericho will sort of emerge from. and he will be taking opportunity fire to shoot whatever comes around that corner, but he will be taking the -2 to evaluate.
All right. Slate will take a full move and say to Willie, coming through on your right.
Right, so I am changing posture, going from crouching to standing, giving, I guess, Mr. Wallinger a discreet nod.
As Jericho rounds the corner, Chavez will thrust his pistol sort of into his face, and there'll be the whole click of the hammer sort of pulling back, and he's just about to fire, and he'll say, "Damn it, Jericho! Almost shot you."
Oh, Jericho points in the direction of the oncoming bridge.
Oh, right, I forgot you're mute.
It's so funny. The one guy who can't yell bridge is the only one who sees the bridge.
Because of course.
Need to figure out how to do sign language. I'd be willing
No,
to...
that'd make it too easy.
No, but I'm thinking, you have one PC who can translate. So that's when you make sure that PC is either occupied or unconscious or something.
No, what you do is you get one PC who has just enough gesture skill, and he pulls a Han Solo thing where he doesn't really know what he's saying. Just everybody thinks he does. No, that reminded me. I kept meaning to take the penetrating whistle perk. I keep forgetting to put it on there.
American Indians did use sign language.
Yeah, I was thinking if I were going to take a sign language, I would probably be using one of the Indian languages.
Yeah.
So I think they had a lingua franca sign language thing.
Yeah, they did, because they had dozens of native languages, but they had like a trail language where hunters could communicate with each other even if they didn't speak the same dialects.
Yeah, that's kind of why I worked the Indian thing into the background, so he'd have an excuse for that.
That's cool. So you probably actually could communicate directly to Chavez. There's a bridge behind you.
Jericho, Sean, seeing a new target, will kind of, jump kind of up onto, lean back into Chavez and try and use Chavez as leverage, and then kind of do a push kick with both feet against you to kick you off the train.
Oh man, I want Daniel.
Feeling froggy,
I totally want Daniel to roll an 18 here. Is that wrong of me?
It's not going that fast right now, honestly. It wouldn't be a big deal. I'd just walk right back up to it.
What would be cooler is if he dodged and the guy threw himself off the train.
Come on, Daniel. 18.
I'm trying to remind myself what
18.
my defenses are.
Doesn't matter. You need to roll an 18.
Right.
If he goes off, he should get a chance to grab onto the side of the train and get dragged.
Dragged at a really slow speed.
No, that won't work.
While saying mistakes were made.
He's not saying anything.
He's whistling.
Jericho, the other guy.
Sorry, I wasn't ready. You know what? Let's do an acrobatic dodge. How about that? So I might have to ninja roll it a bit. That'll work. And then a side slip. Yes, I like that.
Sean has this dejected look, like it's just not going well for him.
Did he all out attack?
He did. It was all out attack telegraphed. Sarah.
Okay. So Sarah stands. She's still a little shaky. And she locks eyes with Heather Everwood. And for just a moment, she has that, oh shit, look on her face.
And of course, you can tell Heather reads that.
Yeah. So Sarah will do her best to like straighten her hair and dust off her dress and start making her way back towards where Slate is. She pastes a fake smile on.
How do you talk as somebody?
ID name. Or if it's an
You can
actual
click on
NPC,
them.
I think you can. They got a little dialogue thingy on the sheet.
Click on the speech bubble.
She says, "Dearie, please, you shouldn't be overexerting yourself at a time
You
like
look
this.
terrible.
Let the men take care of things like this." I'm guessing, yeah. All right, everyone kind of, has started to instinctively expect it, but it doesn't come this time. The braking action of the train. In fact, just so you guys are just moving.
Current ground speed.
Well, that's not
Current
good.
ground speed is 8, but something Jericho does also kind of notice, and now Wallinger, the lead up, it's a slight hill just before you start to reach just after the bridge. But since you're going towards the bridge, you will be going downhill. Towards the,
How far are we from the bridge?
the speed of thought.
Nice answer.
You figure you're running out of time?
So
Damn it.
Chavez rolled his perception. Does he notice anything about the bridge?
There's nothing
1.5
like,
plots
off
away.
Yeah, it's nothing off about the bridge. You just note that a train going backwards, and once it starts that downhill, will start to gain speed, and there's little control. So you put yourselves at higher risk if the trail were to something bad were to happen. Having that bad happen on the bridge would be a very bad time to have the bad.
Yeah, I'd hate
Man,
for
I say
there like to be
bad.
explosives or anything at the bridge.
Or in the train. I mean, the
Ooh,
military.
Yeah.
They do have cannon. What do they pack cannon with? Oh, gunpowder.
Really, I thought it was cheese.
Well, they
I mean,
probably do that too.
Cheese no.
really, really ripe enough cheese, maybe thistle.
I just
You
figured
should-
to use that for wadding.
Pack this cannon with Sean.
Sir, we're not going to fit. Yeah, you will.
Chavez. Alright, I'm gonna take call a bio for now, for a moment.
Are we going to take a 5-minute break?
Yep. We'll do a 5-minute. I think I even have the
Intermission.
Intermission time.
I have it now.
Phil, you gonna sing the song?
You don't
Let's
want
go
that.
out to the lobby. Let's go
I'll
out
let
to
Mark
the
do it.
lobby.
He's just as bad
Let's
as me.
go out to the lobby. Have yourself a snack.
No, it's
Yeah.
worse because he doesn't know the words.
One thing I
Treat-
still regret
treat-
about Fantasy Grounds, the fact that you can't do a GIF, an animated GIF.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Remember to set your AFKs.
Right.
Alright, stream is live again. You might want to get rid of the intermission.
I did. Oh god, I did.
Actually,
Click
to
the X, Brian.
yeah, if the GM wants to do it, he has to unshare it.
Oh, I see what you mean. So just closing it out for myself.
Correct. Alright, so this guy all out attacked, right?
Yes.
So Chavez is going to, reaffirm his grapple, sort of spin the guy around just a little bit, and Chavez will say to, Jericho, hit him! Sort of while presenting the guy's face, if that wasn't clear.
Alright. I will allow you guys approximately, however long you guys want to take with Sean. You are not permitted to cross this line without starting. So that we basically get the PCs together and deal with the Sean issue.
What
Okay.
line?
Well, we'll clonk him. He'll be done.
Okay. So you guys kind of can start to organize a little bit, and I guess everyone gets the chance to point out that you're starting on the downhill, and you're starting to gain speed.
Oh, are we out of combat?
For now, yes.
Right. Well, I am going to go over to Dean and take his gun belt.
Okay. There is no gun in his gun belt.
Actually,
There
no.
are
I don't
bullets.
need to. I don't need to take it from Dean. I can take it from Jeb, since
All
he's right in front of me. I'm just doing that because my pistol's a 45 and this other one's a 44, so I might
right.
need more ammo.
Willie says she'll tell Slate on the way by that she'll make sure no one naughty comes through this door, etc. Sarah, what are you doing in the interim?
Sarah will be moving through the cart towards the back with as much
Okay.
dignity as she can muster.
Okay. If you want, you can get all the way to the rest of the crew or team. Slate.
So, historical question. Didn't we leave the engineer standing by the brake?
He's been the brake system was busted, so he's been, he was yelling. It's like the only he yelled backwards that the only functioning brake was in the caboose, the emergency brake. Now he did say that, and all of a sudden you started getting some brake action. but it didn't seem like what would be the normal. It turns on and stays on. It's been like on, and you get like this jerk motion, like he's been jury rigging the brake system, trying to get it to work.
If you recall, Chavez was heading to the caboose.
Right.
Yeah, he was.
And
In order
now
to engage the
whatever,
brake.
and you assume that whatever jury rigging action that the engineer has been performing is not working anymore.
But since we are heading backwards, are we heading backwards toward a downhill that is going to cause us to accelerate backwards? Okay.
That is correct. So you
right.
are actually starting to feel the acceleration now.
So if we fail to engage the rear brake,
everybody dies.
Only other solution might be to engage the engine and actually go forward again.
Well, but that was
by
the
putting
other
the coal
problem
to it.
Yeah, that was the other problem he was having, was he couldn't get the bullets and the swinging of the shovels and everything else, is like busted gauges and various other pieces of equipment inside the train. So there's no acceleration from the train and engine itself. It's stuck. So whatever he was doing, he's now, he switched from trying to brake to doing something else. So you're not sure what's going on up there.
All right.
So he could be very well doing exactly that. You just don't know.
And the shooting has stopped from the rear of the train, and everybody seems to be still okay.
Yep.
All right. Slate is going to go back towards the conductor in case he needs something lifted, bent, twisted, broken, or otherwise changed.
Okay. So you'll make your way. I'll just go kind of the point of
just move me as far as I can go in that direction.
So you'll be somewhere about here, I guess. You're on top of the train.
On top?
Yep, because you can't go. You won't be unless you break through that wall. You're gonna have to cut across, and you can sort of even from there. You might make out with some flurry of movement going on inside the steam engine, because you can't go through the cargo one. There's no way in on the sides.
Gotcha. Am I mindful of the bridge at this point, or am I about to get clocked?
You're aware. Yeah, it doesn't take you long to notice that the bridge is approaching. That the train is probably speeding up. Let's say.
Okay. Right.
Say you're back to about a 10 and gaining.
All right, so I think I can probably make it onto the coal pile before the bridge hits me in the head.
It's a trestle bridge, so it doesn't have it's. I have actually a good. I thought I had a good picture. Hold on.
It's not like a tunnel, so the beams are pretty high.
Oh, okay. And you said movement in the cab? What do you mean by that? Is it just the conductor trying to fix things, or something else going on up there?
That's what you assume. You only see one person in there.
Good.
So are we all aware of the bridge at this point?
I suppose only the people who have gone to the back of the train are aware of the bridge,
or
unless somebody stuck their head out.
Top.
On top, maybe, yeah.
All right, I have a quick image for you for the bridge. Now, assume this is a much bigger bridge. It's not quite as small as this one. It's the first one that I could find and save in the time. Right. It's kind of one of those bridges. It's just a trestle bridge, so there's nothing that's going to smack you in the head or anything as you're crossing.
Oh, okay. I had the other idea of an underpass.
Now it's much bigger.
My mistake.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. kind of start to congregate towards
Not
the
sure
rear.
how much time has passed.
And Sarah, you were moving to the back, correct?
Yes.
All right. You guys have subdued, and Sean. You do note that anything over 12, I think, speed-wise, starts to make this train unstable. Oh, it's 15. I think it's anything over 15 will start to make the train unstable. Alright, so you guys are wherever you guys want to be right now, at close to the end of the train. What are you guys doing now? Wallinger, Jericho, Chavez.
Well, Chavez will say,
And
yeah.
Fosse and Sarah can feel free to move even closer if need be. Sorry, go ahead.
So Chavez will say to his companions here, he says, the engineer says the brakes are shot. I've got to get to the caboose to hit the emergency brake. And with that, Chavez will holster his pistol and vault the line, heading for the roof.
Alright, so you're going to be moving for the roof.
Questions.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Are those
That's Chavez is considered action.
Whoops.
That's fine.
Just the first one.
this is what kind of car? Is it a box or a passenger car? Because it seems
This
to
here
have
is a
attributes of both.
It's a
No, the next one, the army car.
Oh, it's
a
an
box.
army cart. It's kind of a box cart with some doors on it and whatnot. It's got some side doors, and it does have a door
Okay.
there.
Does it actually have windows there, or it appears to have windows on the image, but that may not be necessarily accurate.
I don't think this one has windows. No, it does not have windows. That's right, because it's kind of a modified box car.
They're not windows, they look like something on the inside. Like a shelf or something like
Yeah,
that.
those are shelves. Oh, what you're seeing are shelves. Yeah, these things here, those are shelves. Gun racks, to be precise.
Okay. They're really small.
I know.
Right.
I had to make this image, and I just had to grab whatever I could.
That's it. Blame someone else.
I blame myself.
I think Jericho's actually going to follow Chavez and cover his back while he goes into the caboose, I guess.
Okay, so you're going over the top of the thing?
Up and over.
Okay.
And Jericho would know that there's still a guy inside the...
At least one.
Yeah.
And we'll grab Wallinger there and have him watch this end in case he comes out.
Alright, so you're going up and over. I'm going to go ahead and position you as you're up on top. And we'll kind of... And Wallinger, you want covering the back. And what is Sarah and Fosse doing? How you guys are setting up?
Well, once we're made aware of the impending threat, I think I'm going to head back to where all the passengers are to try to make sure they're all sitting down and not doing stupid crap.
Okay. Sarah.
She really does not want to go back into that other car with Heather in there. So she's actually going to go back and see if she can help Jericho and Chavez.
Okay.
She's trying to find the farthest point on the train away from Heather.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Right. And as soon as here you go, Mark. As soon as Fosse steps in there and he sees, well, what is it, Miss Everwood? He's gonna have don the exact same "oh shit" expression that Sarah had earlier.
Oh, and Heather will do the, she'll hear the, you'll hear, you'll see Willie, and she'll kind of wave you forward, give you the all clear. You kind
And
of,
Willie's totally gonna say, "What's going on, Fosse?"
yep, and then you kind of step in, and Heather kind of, looks to see who's coming in, and you do the matching eye things, and Fosse, it's Mr. Fosse now, is it? And you just get that, uh-oh, no.
Oh, the train may be in danger. Everybody should make sure they're seated.
And people kind of look around and do the, okay, we'll do what we need to. And they start to do as you say. All right, so back into the action. We'll go, not necessarily going to go time or turn by turn. I'll just do by combat tracker just for Chavez.
Right.
What, once you, you're going to continue towards the back, I assume.
Yes, Chavez will be running along the roof, and he'll leap to the caboose.
Okay, so you're running across the roof. I'll say you get about there. So before I'll have to make a quick stop. So that's about 2 moves in before bullets start coming through the floor. All right, so Jericho, about the same.
Just a bit behind him.
Okay, so Sarah and Wallinger, you get about 2 full actions to take. And Sarah.
Okay,
Sorry,
Sarah's
Wallinger
just gonna
takes aim
move.
at the door.
Oh, so we're setting up in here.
Well, that's what Wallinger was doing. He's taking aim at the door.
And you will have been told that there are some bad guys in that car.
That's
Jericho
obvious as they
told-
start shooting anyway.
Wait.
All right, so she will help Henry guard the door.
Okay. Fosse, you start to get everyone through. Everyone starts to move to chairs and the like.
Yeah, because this thing's totally got total safety in mind.
And Heather does the much. It's a pleasure seeing you again, Mr. Fosse. What? Yeah. Wouldn't have expected to see you out here in Frome County, Mr. Fosse. All right.
Yes,
Slate.
I know.
You will get to probably about here, and you can definitely, you'll get into the engine compartment or engineer compartment, and you can see he's got like a pipe fixed to like what looks like a couple bent pieces of metal, and he's sitting there trying to, yank on it, get some leverage on it, and just as you kind of walk in, you watch his the wood snap from one of the pieces of what looks like one of the shovels.
All right, I'm gonna take up the coal man's asbestos glove and say, "Here, let me." How does it need to go?
And he'll kind of like, if I can try and get the brakes all bent out, he kind of points to it and he shows you where he tried to jury rig this brake with another piece of wood.
By 7.
Yeah. And so he'll hand you the thing. He's like, if we can start, if we can get this bent, maybe I can, try and get the engine, to reverse and engage. And we'll get, we might be able to get some speed going forward and using the engine to brake.
Success by 7. Bending.
All
He
right,
told me to bend.
So you'll prop that in, and you'll start to, bend some metal. Easy. It's like, that's good, that's good. Now I can, he starts tinkering with some other stuff. All right, so I'm going to treat this as kind of a, how would you treat bullets coming through the floor since they don't really know where you're at?
It's -10.
Well, it's
So-
it's probably gonna be.
It's a straight up -10. They know where we are because they can hear our footfalls, but they can't see us, so it's a -10.
All right, I'll just do. How many rounds do you think it's going to take you guys to cross from that point?
2, 3 more.
So
3 at full speed.
So we'll do 3 shots at minus. I'll do. Well, there's. Okay, so.
Well,
say
they need
3.
one
We'll
round
call
to
it
figure out
3.
somebody was up there.
Yep, and that's
Well,
why
they had a
took
couple.
2. Yeah, so 2. So we'll give them 3 rounds to shoot at you guys through the floor. So I'll just make a couple rolls here.
I was gonna say suppressive fire could use that, but I think that's gonna end up being about the same.
That one was close. That one was close too.
I don't know, man. If you roll a 7 and fail by 3, that's not close.
Well, I mean, for a -10.
I can live with close.
You're the whip guy, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
So you should totally use the whip, grab something on the roof, and then swing down and come through the side and take that guy out.
He's gonna hit as a critical success.
Yeah, but the break
so-
is on the roof.
Yeah, that doesn't work when the door's closed.
You'll smash through the door. It'll be very heroic.
All right,
the
so
break-
you guys are able to kind of make it to here. All right, so you'll be there.
All right, since there's bullets coming through the floor, and some of them were really close, one of the bullets will fly past Chavez's head and through the brim of his hat, knocking it off, and Chavez will sort of look over his shoulder going, "Damn it, I like that hat."
Catch it with your whip, Daniel.
I was debating whether I should try.
I think you should try.
I don't know how much I care about the hat.
It's just an automatic reflex on your part.
That's probably true.
Unfortunately, if it's an automatic reflex, that means you may cut his hat in half with your
Well,
whip.
there is that as well. I'm wondering what would that be?
And
It's
Chavez
probably
turns
about
around and is like, "Damn it, I really like that. Damn it!"
Would it be the skull or the face, size-wise? I wonder.
I'd say it'd be the face.
Crack goes the whippy tail.
If you don't manage to catch it, then Wallinger or Ponty will see it flying overhead.
There's no penalty for attacking a hat because it's unsportsmanlike conduct.
And Chavez is going to jump on the caboose.
Holy smokes!
Nice. What's up with that?
So many
2 margin
ones.
crits in a row.
4 1s in 2 rolls.
It's because it doesn't matter.
Fantasy Grounds has lost its mind.
No, Fantasy Grounds is going, lure them into a sense of stupidity.
Well, it's because I don't have the mod going that Brian does when he plays.
The GM hacks.
Yeah, I don't have the GM hacks going. I think I forgot to turn them on. All right.
Well, I think at best he probably batted it down.
All right, Wallinger, Sarah, you guys hear gunshots coming up, and you can see Jericho and Chavez for a little bit kind of doing the dancing feet thing, trying not to get shot. Any other additional actions on your part?
If they can see that, they have really long necks.
Well. Alright, they hear the gunshots. And they hear Chavez and Jericho going to whoop, 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 as they're trying not to get,
I'll stay steady and just doing what I'm doing.
Alright.
You know, we should have arranged something like a signal.
Alright. So, Chavez, you jump across, right? Jericho.
Yep. Landing on the platform there on the caboose.
Alright.
Actually, you know, I'm not going to...
And because Chavez is badass, he's actually going to use his momentum to sort of slam into the door to try and either bounce off it or, smash it open.
Worked for Slate. Why not for him?
So he's jumping down sort of shoulder first.
Alright.
See, this is totally when I would roll like an 18 and smash it and fall off the train.
That would be unfun. So you plow into the door and you with a oof, and you knock some of the some rust off the hinges, and you probably cracked it pretty good, but you didn't go clean through it. Unless you wanted to.
Spend a plot point.
And you can go right on through.
Alright. I will spend a plot point.
I'll even put you there as you kind of roll. Actually, yeah. So you'll be there.
And he'll
stick the landing.
He'll stick the landing, and he'll be like in a superhero pose, crouch with his. He has no weapon at the moment. Actually, could I fast draw in the roll?
You can. I guess that would be a.
Why not
fast
draw before you jump?
Successful fast draw is a free action. You do whatever you want.
Sure. So he'll fast draw in the process.
All right.
Apparently the train is sponsored by the letter C.
All right, so is there anything else the engineer needs me to bend, unbend, break?
No, I need you to get out in front and stop the train.
It's like if you're
shovel coal or...
Sure. Well, let's see. Says, I think I can get this. If you want, he hands you that post again, and says, if you can, get this jammed into that, that where that other piece of wood goes, maybe we can get that. I can try to get that brick going again.
You should jump out in front of the train and stop it that way. You're Superman, right?
No.
Yeah. You could jump down between the tracks and then kind of do the hold on. So you do this thing and use your feet to like catch every of the rail ties, and then you bounce across the rail ties?
No?
No? He'll give you he'll give me a strength check if you succeed, but it's going to be a difficult one. So you're gonna have to succeed by more than
2?
that. I
Man,
was gonna say by 4.
I'll use one of my plot points to make that a critical success.
All right, so now everybody gives me a dex check.
No, I'm sitting down.
If you're not sitting down.
Oh!
Perfect. All right. So Chavez, you'll take a knee. You weren't expecting the brakes to start again.
Or the engine, actually, in this case.
And because
Well, no, you're jury rigging the brake. You basically
Oh,
sort of
okay.
you're kind of using a impromptu brake lever kind of thing.
I see.
because
You're trying to push against that a broken piece against another broken piece kind of thing.
because Chavez was already sort of low in his superhero sort of landing pose, when the brakes jar the train, he'll lose his balance and again dropping the pistol as he has to stay himself, and he'll be thinking, his eyes will just sort of close and he goes, damn it, not again.
All right. I'll refresh you a plot point for setting yourself up like that.
Sweet.
Take a plot point for that. All right.
Do these doors slide, or are they normal?
Yeah, they're
Opening doors.
hinged opening. This one opens in.
In.
Yep. Where are we? Just did. Okay, so we finished with Slate. We're Jacob.
Right.
I'm guessing you were probably sitting down. You said.
Yeah.
She's of course sitting right across from you.
So, how are you? Willie, you should probably sit down. And then she falls down. Come on, Jericho. You need 2 whips so you can use the little things on the top of the train or the caboose and Spider-Man it. And then hit the guy from behind. Do it!
Yeah.
Wait, I was joking.
Oh, and
Well, I wasn't actually thinking about that, but at that point I could. But that would leave the backfield open there.
Yeah, well, Wallinger's back there.
I guess it depends on. Yeah, Chavez is pretty screwed there, so. Yeah, what the hell. We'll see if we can climb this. Going up.
Yeah. How long until those rolls come back and actually start giving us fantasy ground rolls?
Any minute now.
you guys are pretty certain you're only a few moments away from the bridge at this point. By the way,
Because, of course.
Train's probably actually the train actually is going faster. It's going about 12 now after the break.
Oh, we're still not in combat turns.
Is that
So we're not still in combat turns.
Well, you are for now.
Okay, never mind.
Is that emergency brake up on top of a platform, or is it not?
It's like a small, like little. Yeah, it looks like it is a little small platform, isn't it? It does look like a little small raised platform dealy bot there. I don't know.
Right.
I've never been in a caboose,
Oh, is
but-
that what that is?
Yep. As you're just starting to climb, Jericho, the door opens up, and this guy, is like, "Boss, we've gotta," and he sees you, and he's got like a
Whip him in the neck.
Problem.
and you
Yeah,
actually
that would be good.
both of those guys.
Either whip him in the neck or the arm, and then just pull him onto the tracks.
Ouch.
Oh my god, his face is on fire.
Should be on his face. Should be on his hand. He's holding what looks like a small impromptu torch.
That seems like a bad idea.
And what seems even worse as a bad idea is these look like big old barrels that say gunpowder.
Gunpowder. Yes. Make him drop it.
XX
We need
grain.
the train to blow up.
And in the Zeke's hand, in one of his hands, actually in a couple of his pockets, there are a couple of what look very distinctly like sticks of dynamite. Yeah,
Off voice for a sec.
and Conductor Bill is kind of looking at Chavez almost like, yay to my hero, and then everything transpires and he's like, oh no. Fleece is actually, he's on his knees and tied up. His his hands are tied behind his back, and he is on his knees. His feet are not tied though. And
Fleece is not a rubber.
Fleece is one of the robbers. He has a he has a rifle. He's got a rifle.
Sorry.
And
You said Fleece was tied up.
oh, I'm sorry. Conductor Bill is tied up on his knees with his hands tied behind his back.
That makes more sense.
And Fleece is actually, I think I have an image for her.
That means he's important.
Is he gonna have a bad guy mustache?
It's the West. All of us have bad guy mustaches.
He is neither a woman nor a child.
Even Sarah has a bad guy mustache.
She keeps it in her pocket, though.
Willie has one as well, but she scalped it from some dude.
Yeah, he didn't appreciate that.
Bad guy mustache confirmed.
You know, you really should. Every one of these bad guys that you get a picture for, you need to make a second picture with them like grayed out and have X's over their eyes.
What you see on Fleece 2 is he looks like he has what looks like a couple sticks of dynamite on him as well.
Probably get the feeling these guys are kind of idiots.
Are they lit?
No.
Not yet.
Not.
The dynamite or the robbers?
Well, they're probably lit, but they are not. They have not started the fuse on the dynamite. Heather looks to Fosse and is like, "So when when this whole deal is over with, you will definitely have to tell me what brings you, in my part of the woods, or my family part of the woods."
Won't that be fun?
Sarah.
I guess just holding where she is.
Right.
Suppose didn't hear any gunshots back there yet, did she?
Probably
the
not.
engineer keeps, fixing stuffs. And did Jericho not go?
I think you just hadn't got back to me yet.
Oh, I know what I did. Okay. So this is the point where Zeke actually comes through the door, does the "Hey boss, the Saints ring to book," and he sees you, getting ready to climb up, to what looks like the back of Chavez, that kind of thing.
Oh,
Chavez.
I had not climbed up yet.
Yes. You're getting ready to, I believe.
Chavez will fast draw a knife.
Yours or his?
His knife.
His arms aren't that long.
Well, I need you to make your TK roll first before you do the fast draw.
Then he's going to do a move and attack with a combat roll.
All right.
And as he comes out of the roll, he's going to throw that knife at what's his name? Bobby. That's not right. Yes, it is.
All right. Bobby will take an extra effort to dodge out of the way. Failing miserably.
What shite damage. But it was to the vitals.
But that won't penetrate his DR. So his dodge kind of made, he kind of does the sidestep. It hits him, but it just kind of impacts on the surface. All right, Slate, I need a strength check.
And now
Try and push
Chavez
against that break.
Now Chavez doesn't have a weapon again.
Strength.
There it is.
So many sixes. I'll use my second plot point to turn that into a success.
Oh, actually, sorry, my damage was incorrect.
He did it.
You know your turn's over, right?
What DR does the guy have?
1. Actually, I think it's DR. What is? Hold on, I got it here.
Too late. You're done. You moved on to carry.
Yeah, okay. Chavez didn't fast draw his signature knives.
God damn it.
It's Hey, none of you guys have leather jackets. I think it's DR1 or DR2. I know it's DR1 for sure.
It's
Yeah,
Fosse's turn by now. I mean,
Right.
You're way over time, but
And won't that be fun?
All right, so
Did Fosse actually get to go?
yeah, he's chatting with Heather.
Okay, well, one hand on whatever he was climbing on. He's having to use the offhand whip, and he's going to do a disarm. He's got a long arm.
He's got a shotgun. Looks like it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, disarm. Okay. That's a hit. Defend.
All right. Now, you did say you burned your plot point to make that a successful break.
Do what?
For Slate, he did burn the plot point for the success of the break. I can't remember if he. I know. I believe that's what his intent was. So, okay. Let's just step away for a brief moment.
yeah, I meant to use my second plot point to turn that failure into a success.
Okay. So, because it was a plot point used, I'm going to use it. I'm going to have to say you kind of started to hit that grind action, and it just took an extra second or two to function. So you'll succeed, Jericho. So he will need to dodge that.
I'm confused. How did the breaks have anything to do with it?
You'll see. Because he used a plot point, I can narrate a little bit. It's basically a delayed break action. Whoa. Oh, even better. All right, so.
Or you could just roll a crit.
Okay, so he tries to dodge your whip and just flubs it. Do you get to do a crit success on that now, or how does that work?
He falls over. Critical fail and dodge falls over.
Crit fail on a dodge is a fall, so
Okay.
I suppose if you were being generous, you could give him a grenade scatter.
He's gonna fall and explode.
So he tumbles backwards. He tries to not, shift his shotgun out of your way as your whip wraps around it, and you tug as he kind of twists, and the braking action of the train all together, he just kind of tumbles backwards, and you notice him fall into Enrique, who has the lit brand. You see what looked like a few sticks of dynamite fall out of his jacket as he goes tumbling to the ground, along with the lit brand of flames.
And of course, Jericho is the one who sees this.
Uh-huh.
So now Jericho needs to dive off of the train.
I'm going to presume the shotgun is no longer applicable.
No, yeah, the shotgun is not in his hands. He's on his butt. You think he tumbled back into Enrique. You see the door kind of swing shut by the little, piece of, stretchy, springy metal thing. And of course, you did catch, like, tumbling fire stick, a couple what looked like dynamite sticks, and a couple barrels of gunpowder all near that door just as it closed, and the look of entire shock on the two guys' faces as they both kind of, tumble onto the ground.
Okay, well, if the door's shut, then there's probably not much I can do about it.
Except dive off of the train.
I didn't think about that. That might be safer.
Or
Yeah.
since we're going backwards and we're about to be going forwards, you could pull the pin and let them go the other way.
Yeah, I'm not really cognizant of that. And that's probably a bit more
Yeah.
effort than I want to hang around and fiddle with pins.
I mean, you could yell that to, like, Wallinger and Sarah, but wait, that's right, you're mute.
Actually, what's our current ground speed velocity?
12 yards.
We're going 12, and see. So did he just hit the brakes at 12?
Yeah, you're down to 11. Sorry.
Okay, so we're still a bit fast for jumping off.
You can't even yell to Chavez to get out of there.
That's why you should just jump off the train.
Conductor Bill makes himself small by kind of tucking in a little bit. He doesn't want to be, things start sailing over or around his head. He doesn't want to get hit. I do declare, Mr. Fosse, if that engineer up there can't seem to get the brakes, to activate more smoothly, who knows what will happen? The death of us.
Kaboom! Train falls. Everybody dies.
You hear
no!
some. Jericho does hear some, like yelling and get up! Oh my gosh! Blah, 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 and stuff going on in the other car. Sarah.
And you're totally gonna hear one of them say, "Sir, it's been an honor."
Do we hear anything back where we are?
You hear some elevated, yelling and sounds like cursing or something going on in the other car, but over the din of the train itself and through walls, you're not entirely sure what's going on.
Still no gunshots.
Yep, no gunshots.
Okay. If she actually hears like elevated voices, she's nosy, so she's actually going to move to the door and try to see what's going on.
All right.
So if that means that she has to go through this door and move up to the other door, she will.
All right. There's no door here. You're kind of on a flatbed thing, and that door doesn't has a window, but it's like one of those like little open flap windows that the person on the inside can open and look out of, and it is closed.
Okay. Well, she's gonna crack the door open,
All right,
holding her.
Okay.
Huh?
So you attempt. No, go ahead. You attempt to crack the door, and you realize that it is locked. Or you find out it is locked. Looks like they tried to bar or close it and lock it from the inside to keep you guys out.
Okay, since this is cinematic, can she like use her like shoot the lock?
Absolutely.
Okay, so she's gonna take a moment to aim and like brace herself if there's a railing,
Do you have
Okay.
so she
gunslinger?
doesn't like. So
Yep,
she does.
I think
Yeah,
she
she has gunslinger.
Yeah,
So
you
you
don't
just-
need to aim.
Yeah, you just kind of boom.
Or
Alright,
you can
so
you can put it in contact with the lock.
No, she's
Right.
she's just gonna make sure that she's good and braced against the railing so that she doesn't lose her balance from the force of the gun going off and send herself flying off the train. But yeah,
That
she's
would
gonna
be
try to shoot the
hilarious.
lock off. And it would totally be my dice.
Well, you are strong enough to use your rifle well enough without having to worry. So you get that kind of cinematic, shotgun blast to the lock, leaving almost a perfectly circular hole where the lock used to be. And the door swings kind of open a little bit, and you do see what look like two guys kind of scrambling on their feet, kind of, moving in your direction, and what looks like some tumbling things going on down back there.
Do I recognize those tumbling things?
Let's see. Give your.
More importantly, there are guys charging towards you.
They're like on their hands and knees right at the moment, trying to get. Yeah, they've only taken one round on their, to try and rush away. Let's see.
Well, if there's things afire,
Give
that will
me
be
a.
obvious.
Yeah, you see the flaming thing kind of rolling back and forth, and give me a perception check to recognize it for what it is. So you're pretty certain that those cylinder things that are also kind of rolling back and forth alongside that flaming thing that's moving back and forth are dynamite. Not to mention that against this boxed thing here, what looks like a safe, a big metal door, are packed packs of dynamite along what look like the hinges of that door.
Man, these are really dumb train robbers to set up dynamite right next to powder kegs.
Okay, so she I don't know how much we could actually fit into this particular moment in time.
Well, we'll say that's what you see for now.
So
Okay.
she has enough time to go, oh, crap.
It seems bad to you.
That's where you see Zeke start to like scramble to his. He's on his hands and knees, scrambling to his. He was
It's a
on
pity
his,
she just shut the door again.
Does what's his face, Bobby? Does he have pistols?
He looks like he has. He does have a pistol. Yes, he has a pistol. He has a pistol.
All right. So Chavez is going to take a move and attack. He'll spend a fatigue.
I just skipped Bobby, didn't I? I did.
Do you want to take Bobby's turn?
Nope, that's my bad.
Who's Bobby?
I don't know why it seemed like it skipped him. Oh well. Go for it.
Chavez likes this charge and take their pistol. That is really going to come back and bite him one day, I suspect.
All right. So fast draw opponent's pistol.
From his hand?
Wasn't he? Didn't he have a rifle?
No. He had a. What did I say?
According to the token, he's got a rifle.
Yeah, the token he has a rifle, but he has pistols.
Okay, so he's holding the pistol.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like, did I say a rifle? I recognize that the token's not right. I'm sorry.
Right. In that case, I'll substitute that for a fast draw knife roll. And it will be a target attack to the vitals.
All right. He will extra effort twice. Hit twice. Feverishly defend while attempting to take a step back.
You could also say, since he missed his turn, he took all out defense.
Oh, okay. I picked the wrong one. Will succeed. All right, Slate.
I will continue to assist the
All right.
engineer as best I can.
So successful break check or successful strength check to break, and for every factor of 2, I'll even give you a better break action.
Here goes.
Success by 3. So a normal success followed by 1 level factor. So success by 2. Everyone give me a dex check that is standing.
Me too, or am I braced for it?
You're braced for it. You're ready for it. Everyone else
Okay.
is not ready for it, kind of thing.
Could I pull the whistle right before I do that in order to give everybody a +1?
Well, you just thought of it, and that you think that would be a great, a possible idea in the future.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Enrique definitely stays on his feet.
So, what brings you back?
No, you just hit the brakes there. So she's, oh, I fell over.
Oh, and he goes back to his hands and feet.
Okay,
That is
Jericho.
now when Jericho jumps off the train.
Now Jericho is gonna run straight back through here at full tilt. He's gonna whistle on his way in. Oh, and before I forget, yeah, he will have retracted. And basically is gonna be in the process of diving over anything that's in his way, and he's got a very clearly oh shit look on his face as he's barreling through.
And that's when the train explodes. Not the car, the entire train.
Because why would it just be the car?
He did whistle though.
Okay.
As he got through the door.
And Jericho, as you're kind of heading that way, because you're just trying, you can see out the conductor's window, this one right here, that you're like seconds, maybe even less than seconds away from being on the bridge itself.
It's going to explode on the bridge.
To standing. Sarah, you notice he doesn't have anything in his hands. He just looks like he is like look of terror heading towards you. Bobby will. Let's see. Body language. That sounds good.
That's probably just IQ.
Success by
Unless he
2.
actually has body language.
No, he doesn't actually have it. That's probably so. He doesn't read. He reads the situation as not what he thinks it is. Just thinks it's some crazy dude trying to rush him. So he'll take a step, or actually no, well, he will take a step, use the platform as a slightly more cover, and take a shot at Chavez. All right, Chavez, dodge.
Oh, I
Chavez will use his acrobatics.
Okay.
Figure the conductor probably fell forward when dude dodged back.
He's been crouching deep in on himself, so he's kind of like curled in because he's.
Oh, he's in a ball.
Knives. Yeah, he's in a ball. Knives have gone over his head now.
Missed by 1.
All right, so you'll take. Ooh.
Chavez will flesh wound that one.
All right, Chavez flesh wounds that one. For 1 point. It looked like it went right through your jacket, right? Yeah, Jericho even thought that was probably going to be a lot more bloody, and it just like holed through one side of your jacket and holed through the back end, leaving only a nice red blister on your skin. Oh, Heather, am I not talking? Am I talking now?
You keep
Yes.
talking and not talking.
I keep talking and not talking. What was the last thing you guys heard me say?
Am I talking
Am
now?
I talking?
Did you hear the conductor tumbles forward?
No.
Okay.
No.
Conductor kind of does this tuck roll thing to get out of the combat that's going on nearby him. As Fleece kind of takes a shot at Chavez, and Heather, and that breaking action, kind of does the tumble into off her stool into Jacob Fosse's. He's like, "Oh, old times." You're not sure if she tumbled entirely of her own accord, but she does seem to avoid the
Good
question.
times.
She avoided your question is what brings her.
Atlanta was not kind.
Sarah.
Okay, so Sarah basically sees Dynamite. She sees a panic-stricken looking guy coming towards her that she doesn't recognize.
Quick, shut the door in its face.
Yeah, she
Realize
She's
that the lock
basically-
is blown completely.
yeah, there's no lock. But she's going to say something very unladylike and shut the door and turn around and yell to Henry, "There's dynamite over on this cart. What do we do?"
All right.
We die.
And I know that reference. We die.
Hey, isn't Sarah and Henry supposed to be like mortal enemies because of their families?
No, just Henry and her father are unfriendly, and
Yeah, Henry saved Sarah's life.
She's the Overlord's daughter.
Ah, crap.
And he's the handsome young hero.
Matt Damon!
hey, I think I got it. And he's like, and he kind of slams something forward, and it looks like, it's like, and he just as he's finishing up, he's pretty certain he's figured it out. Just another second or so, and he slams a lever forward. You can, hear a hiss, and you see one of the gauge, start to actually register. That's the engineer, by the way.
Yeah, I figured.
It's time to explode the train on top of the bridge.
All right, Chavez.
Chavez will fast draw his second knife.
You hear the train sound clacking, sound a little more hollow.
On the bridge.
So now you have two knives out, right?
Yes. And he will do a giant step would allow him to parry, would it not?
Yeah.
Yep.
So he will spend a fatigue for a giant step. And will dual weapon attack. To the vitals.
Right. Ew.
So he's -1 to defend a dual weapon attack.
Alright, let's see. So it's -1?
Yep.
+1 total. He can't retreat. He can't sideslip. He's kind of stuck. So, yeah.
He could leap onto the blades so he can't use them anymore.
I think that's incorrect. That is a fail by... No, that's a success by 0. Because he should only get the +1. Feverish defense +2, -1 should give him a 10. He succeeds by 0.
He's got the second one to dodge as well.
Oh, and the second. But the feverish only works for the first one, right?
Yeah, you have to buy it for both of them.
Ooh. Well, you're
I
gonna
think.
get gutted, so he'll do
Or is it that you can only do it once?
I'm not sure.
Oh, it's succeed either way. Well, yeah.
No, single active defense roll.
So
Are you actually done?
Mm-hmm.
Because we hate for Slate to get interrupted again. Quick, find a way to interrupt him.
It's becoming a trope.
Alright, Slate.
However, I have
Every
nothing
margin
to
of
do. Go ahead.
Sorry. You can break if you'd like. For every margin of success, every factor of 2 margin of success, you will get to reduce the speed even further.
Well, I'm following the engineer's instructions to the best of my ability, so
He hasn't told you to do anything different.
I'll carry on as I am then.
Alright, hit that brake. That jerry-rigged braking
Strapped.
system that you're using. Strength. Alright. Yes, load by one.
Right.
You tried to fail.
Did you toot the horn that time?
I did. Yeah, this time actually
Yep. Everyone
I'm
gets
gonna-
a.
honk the horn and then break so that everybody gets a little bit of warning.
I'll give everyone a +2. Or they can get a. Yeah. So there's like a. Yeah, everyone hears the train sound, horn go off, and just a moment, barely a second later, you guys all feel the shift of the train as it kind of tries to slow again. So between Sarah and Wallinger, we're gonna take a quick cut out. Or actually, no, I'm sorry, Jericho still has a chance. Or Jacob and Jericho.
Yeah, I'm not really doing anything.
Okay, you're
I'm not gonna urge her to get off of my lap. I mean, come on.
What kind of guy
That's
do
a
you think
Frome
he
County
is?
9.
Right, Jericho.
Jericho is going to keep going and barrel right past and slam through the back door.
You guys we're on the bridge now. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you're totally gonna have to do that Uncharted thing on dangling on the train.
Maybe.
You realise we are at the back of the train, so the train's moving backwards. So if we jump off,
We're all gonna die.
if we jump off, the train is, or the explosion is going to move closer to us.
Well, I wasn't necessarily planning on jumping off, just getting more walls between me and that stuff. But that kind of depends on the situation. At any rate,
Plus, does he have demolitions? In which case, he doesn't know how that's going to actually work.
I didn't even see how much crap was in there. All I saw was just what was right in front of
It's
me.
bad.
I just know I don't want to be there for it. But as he clears through the door and gets on the other side, he's going to be grabbing at Chavez, trying to pull him out.
All right, so give me a wrestling grab as you kind of yank Chavez on the way. Oh, absolutely. So Chavez, you get kind of dragged out unless you're going to resist better than a success by 9.
Chavez is going to be a little bit confused at first.
Right when then it explodes. Wow.
Since he's got clear sort of...
Obviously,
Never mind.
something is.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
obviously,
perception. Never
Jericho, there's something very wrong. Jericho
It's probably
had-
snakes.
is just there's something very wrong, and you know Jericho wouldn't be pulling something like this just on a whim. And
Plus,
you're kind of inclined that he completely ignored Bobby to try and what looked like save you from something.
plus Chavez has clear line of sight to the flames or the torch.
Oh, no,
And
those doors are all closed.
are they? Okay.
Well, that door might be open.
Well, no, they had the little slide window thing, and that was closed. I was going to say you might be able to see the flicker of light in there, but no.
Either way, Chavez knows Jericho wouldn't be pulling him unless there's a good reason for it, so Chavez is not going to
Terrifying
resist.
Get pulled on the way out.
There's an
All right.
entire car full of.
There'll be a shrug, like, what?
Right. Sorry. Didn't mean to forward you like that. Anything else, Jericho?
Well, my next action after that is going to be to wrap my arms around the damn railing.
Okay.
He's yelling, but nobody
Alright.
can hear him.
Wallinger. Sarah, do a quick cut out of the normal timeline. What are you guys doing? Sarah, you're pretty certain that was a lot of dynamite. A lot of dynamite. And something fly. And you're not sure if those barrels with the weird markings on them were gunpowder or not?
So yeah, her last action was to close the door and turn around and yell back to Henry that there were explosives on the cart on this cart and say, "What do we do?"
Does her voice carry to everybody else?
Sadly, no.
Well,
Well, she has voice. What does that mean?
He can definitely
That
hear
doesn't
you
mean
and
it's
understand
loud.
you. But
It's
he
just,
understands you. It cuts through.
well, we can pull the pin out and separate the train cars.
that doesn't help because you're going backwards.
Well, but if it breaks again, then your set of train will break while the other keeps moving. So
That's so going to happen. And then when the car explodes, the caboose should just roll by itself down the tracks and eventually come to a stop.
At the station, perfectly intact.
Now, see, what'll happen is the explosives are just right there over the rear axle of that car, and it's going to sever the hitch. And the explosion will push the caboose backwards so that the bridge will be destroyed, but the caboose will be pushed back to the other side.
all right, so it's Wallinger and Sarah. You guys have you have some moments to do some fun actions. You are out of time. You are in plot time.
I vote.
The
it
time
is-
of narrative.
It is still decelerating at this point.
It is. They've been decelerating and whatnot. And what you guys don't know, what Slate knows, is the engineer is just about to hit the reverse direction.
Well, it is slow enough. It's slow enough at this point that you could probably manage jumping off if that was an instinct of yours.
So
Pull pin? Pull pin.
all right, Wallinger reaches down and yanks and starts to pull the pin.
And
correct.
Sarah will very quickly move back to the flatbed.
All right. So, what occurs? And that, the speed of narrative. Wallinger, yanks the pin, and at first it's stuck, but then, there's a kind of a jostle where it kind of comes loose, and boom, both you're pretty certain the trains are separated, but of course momentum is keeping them together, and you're thinking, well, that didn't work. And all of a sudden, from Slate, the engineer's like yelled out, "Pull that, pull that whistle! I'm gonna, change directions." And there's a loud burst. I'm gonna assume from Slate.
Oh yeah, I'll follow his
As-
directions to the T.
And you pull that whistle, and he throws a lever forward, and there's just this god awful grind and squeal, and everybody, even people sitting down, needs to give me a dex check, except for those guys in the last two cars.
I thought for sure I was going to fail it and then fall off onto the other cars that's about to explode.
Oh, but you will be probably trying to catch Sarah now.
Yep.
All right. So, Sarah, the forcefulness of the braking action, you lose your footing and you start to go forward. Wallinger, what are you
Reach it.
doing? She's
Grab it.
looking.
Reach
she's
out.
about to fly off the back into the train.
Reach out, grab it.
All right, Sarah, I need I don't know, what sounds like a good grab his hand kind of. Actually, both give me some rolls. Just do dex rolls, why not? Wallinger, I'll need it. Okay. So, Sarah, you're going to get a plus 2 bonus to a dex roll to grab hold of Wallinger as he reaches out to grab you. And that was perfectly timed for that bonus. You guys come to almost
Yay!
near screeching halt as the train continues forward. You kind of watch one guy dive off the side of the train, and of course the train is now, or at least that portion of the train is fully over the bridge. You see one guy just head dive off the side of the train, and there's just a god awful explosion as that cart just it just rips itself apart and pieces going everywhere. Now for our 2 illustrious heroes back into the train, give me dex checks as you guys as the force of the explosion forces the caboose at a much higher rate of speed than expected, throws you guys against the wall, and you're flying forward at much greater speeds than you would have expected to accelerate at.
Oh, right, okay.
So is the caboose still mostly intact?
Mostly intact for now.
Conductor's not hurt?
Well, you're not entirely sure of the conductor's state of at this point. You're just making sure you don't get thrown from the caboose by as it's kind of rocketed and twisted forward across the bridge. Let's see. Fossey, did you make it? Yes, you did. People in the car just kind of go sliding, and there's yelps and
Well, if it's an
screeches from
explosion,
kids.
I'll totally tackle the hotness to the floor.
Well,
All right,
tackle
Willie, you should probably get to safety, Willie.
So everything does the hard brake and whatnot, and that's what kind of starts to toss everyone to the floor. And then just moments later, there's the large explosion from the front of the train. Ollinger and
Front of the
Sarah, the back of the train. The explosion's at the back. Yeah, I know.
The front back, not the back front?
The back front. Yeah, the back front.
Back.
Back.
All right.
Shotgun.
So, Wallinger and Sarah, you guys kind of, as everything kind of sort of returns to semi-normal, the train section you're on is kind of hanging over a gap of blown-out bridge. You're fine. You just know that any further, and Sarah would be dangling if you hadn't caught her. But you don't want to be on that section of the train, as it could potentially tip and fall. Now, Jericho and Chavez.
You were launched into orbit.
Yeah.
You are now space cowboys.
Find yourselves after like the smoke and debris kind of start to clear up. You hear the creak and groan of the caboose, but you realize that the floor is now the wall, or mostly the wall of the caboose portion you're on.
So we're flipped?
The wall is sort of the floor. You're kind of at a strange angle.
Like we're flipping, or we're on 2 wheels?
Let me see if I can find it.
That's right. That train thing is like popping a wheelie.
Well, that's the thing about trains. The more off balance it gets, the more it rights itself. That's kind of the whole concept.
Plus, we want to see the train pop a wheelie.
You see the box, right?
Yep.
Alright. So, if that were level ground,
Okay.
It feels like it's like that.
So where
Is that
is the
rolled on
ground?
its side?
No, it's like dangling. So if
It's
this
hanging.
were, it's hanging. It feels like it's
Okay.
twisted up in the rail, and there's a groan and
Okay, so we're hanging on the bridge.
correct.
Oh, crap.
And you hear from inside, "Help!"
So we're going to be looking for 2 new PCs then.
And it's like creaking and groaning.
Get in there and hero.
Looking in, the majority of the back end of this caboose is like just open walls. You can see part of the axle, and you can see straight down into the water far below. Bobby seems to be holding on to some pieces of the remains of the caboose, while the conductor's kind of slid and is kind of his feet are against the this table right here, and he's kind of using that to stay upright. So if he's kind of like that against the using the table.
You getting a bit arrow happy again.
I know. The head, the arrowhead is his head. The feet, base is kind of his feet.
Does Bobby have his weapon in hand?
No, he does not, or at least he doesn't look like it.
Did you actually stab him?
No. So he should be uninjured.
Alright, so we're hanging on the rail bridge. Are we off to the side, or is the bridge actually broken?
It is broken. There's a large gap, from the other end of the train to where you are.
How
You're
many cars are hanging off? Is it just the caboose?
The caboose is hanging off on your end, and you see just portion of the flatbed is hanging off, but not by much. And
Just like one axle or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so one axle of the next car is up off the rails.
Yep. So
That's
the whole. I mean, Wallinger and Sarah are fine though, even though they're on the axle hanging part.
Oh, is it 2 cars hanging off?
No, one car is gone.
It's like 1 1/4.
Yeah. The military cart is gone. They are like Wallinger. The cart that Wallinger and Sarah are on is a little bit of a distance away due to the braking action, the violent braking action. Their cart is only partially hanging over, maybe an axle, but it seems stable. It's still connected to the rest of the train and the way that the rest of the train is holding it together.
Is it raining dollar bills that are sort of burning?
You're pretty certain that if it was any, sure, why not? But most of it was probably gold.
Or Confederate?
It was Union.
Hey, is that a burning stick
Army.
of dynamite?
Okay, let me try again to see if I'm wrapping my head around this. The army car is basically gone. The flatbed is hanging one axle off into the gap, And the caboose is hanging, the front of the caboose is hanging down.
Correct.
Okay, so it's going the other direction. We're up, Knucklehead is down.
And part of it is through the bridge, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, if you figure that's the horizon, the plane of the rail.
Yep, I got it.
Okay, so technically all that the two of us need to do is just get off, and
Correct.
we're on the bridge. Okay.
Yep. Or what remains of the bridge, yes.
All right,
And
so
the civilians.
conductor's fallen forward down that way. And I don't care about Mr. Fleece. He can go sort himself out, I suppose.
Jericho needs to be a real hero. Use one whip to secure ourselves to the rail, and the other whip dangle it towards the conductor so he can hold on to it.
His hands are tied.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that gives us enough length anyway.
Use the whip and grab it around the rope.
Just barely.
Yeah, lash the rope he's tied with.
Yeah,
You might cut him on the hand, but
I don't have enough length.
no.
They're only they're 2-yard whips.
Chavez will sheathe his knives and he'll shout to the conductor, "Quickly, crawl this way, crawl this way!" And he'll sort of wave him up to the door.
What about this platform thingy?
It does give you, it is kind of a step. So if you were to think of it like gives you kind of a...
Is that a wall around it?
No, it's just the size. It's a raised platform.
Okay, but does it have a...
No, there's no wall.
No rail or anything on it?
Yeah, no rail.
Does the conductor...
The bathroom there is walled in, too.
Does the conductor look like he's in a position to crawl?
No, the angle is too steep, and with his hands tied, bound behind his back, he has really little way of leveraging his motion. He tries to do an inchworm thing, but it just kind of slides back down.
All right. So instead of
his movement, though, you can hear the creaking and groaning, and then you hear Bobby's like, "Stop moving around! You'll kill us all!"
Chavez, instead of waving the guy forward, since it's obvious he can't crawl, he will grab the whip of Jericho. So grab the end of the whip.
And Jericho slits his throat. You don't touch my damn whips.
And he'll kind of use it like a rope. And he'll start heading for the...
You're dead.
You knew it was a scorpion.
If Jericho has objections, then Chavez is not going to grab it.
Well, he's been trying to voice his objections, but you don't sign.
Yeah, you don't seem to be listening.
Okay, so I think what's probably going to be the closest thing to working here is if Chavez gets one of the whips. Now, see, that's still not going to work because he's not going to be able to grab it. The conductor can't grab the whip.
No, but Chavez has got a climbing of 17, so he'll just use the whip as a rope to get down, and then maybe use it as a rope to help pull the conductor back up.
Okay, well, I think what's going to happen is while you're getting down there with the whip, Jericho's going to be moving to the end of the platform area where he's got a little bit of leverage there, and he's basically going to be try to secure the other whip in a way that we can at least chain back up. So we'll kind of sort that out.
Okay, so as Chavez starts to shimmy down, there's a groan and scream of metal, and you can kind of feel the thing twist, and it kind of starts to you feel it shift. Bobby, our Fleece, just starts cursing. He's like, "You idiots! Whatever you're doing, do it more gently. You're gonna kill us all."
Pity whether you guys don't have a gun right now. You could shoot him and shut him up.
I do have a gun.
Maybe you should shoot him and shut him up.
All right. So is Jericho moving down, or is he staying where he's at?
No, he's moving down as indicated. That's about the only way this is going to work.
Okay, so move yourself.
Well, I'm waiting for Chavez needs to go first.
Okay. So Chavez kind of kind of using like some climbing. You can get to where you want to with a climb of 9. So it's just by the time you get there, that's when everything kind of shifts, and you're kind of scrambling. You grab hold of something.
All right, so Chavez will grab the bindings. He's bound by the hand, so he'll just grab the bindings of the conductor's hands and start reefing him back.
Okay, so as you grab the bindings and you start to shimmy back a little bit, he screams out in pain as his arms kind of go up, and Bobby's like, "Well, what about me?"
If you shut up, we might come back for you.
All right. Jericho, give me a dex check. Okay. All right. So you start to you kind of help shift them up about a spot, and again, there's a groan and squeal of metal, and now you're on that thing is near vertical. So, what do you can feel it start to shift. You don't have what do you get? You've got hold of the conductor. What do you where's the rope? Can you draw a line how the rope is tied and where it's tied to?
There's not at this
Nothing's
point.
tied? Okay. So, Jericho, how are you perched?
All right, so Chavez has got hold of the conductor. Jericho's in a position where he can work his way back up the platform up to the stair part, probably, and he's going to be helping Chavez and by proxy the conductor sort of inch their way back up. Once he gets to that point, he can actually use the whip to get hold of one of the rails and pull up the rest of the way.
All right, so you get there. You kind of, Chavez has a hand on one of your whips, and the other one grabbing the conductor, and you've got your other whip against the rail. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, more or less.
All right. So just so as you do that, Bobby's like, "You ain't coming back for me. You're gonna leave me to die. I'm gonna take us all out." And he starts to shake, and you can hear it just kind of groan and squeal. It's like, "I'm going. We're all going. We're all gonna die."
Quit it, you damn fool!
And you hear the pop, and you feel the whole thing shift, and there's this. Your stomachs kind of sink for a moment as it does drop for another for a little bit. Give me a strength check. It's gonna be pretty easy.
I still hate strength checks.
So you're fine, Chavez. You were for a moment. You're like, "Oh, I'm gonna lose him," but you don't. But you hear the pop of one of his shoulders going out, and the conductor kind of screams for a moment. And he's tries to hold it together as he realizes that he's now kind of dangling freely at this point by his arms bound behind his back, which are kind of starting to pull up over his head. Alright, so you guys are basically now dangling at this point. Kind of like that. So I'm going to Jericho, you've got a perch on that platform, but Chavez is, dangling. What are you doing now?
So, is the caboose falling now?
No, it's hanging straight up and down now. That last kind of shake that police kind of try to shake it a little bit, you kind of felt it slip for a second, and then catch again on some, and that caused, you still maintained your grip on the conductor and the whip, but you lost perch on anything else. So you're kind of holding the conductor and the whip, strained, all together.
All right, I'm assuming that platform has like legs, like a table at each corner.
Which one?
The platform, the caboose platform there. So at each corner there'll be like a support leg.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's a lattice,
all right.
Like a support lattice. Yeah, absolutely.
So Chavez is going to acrobatically swing and hook his legs up around one of these legs.
Okay.
Good. Hold on.
Done.
And he's going to, once he's done that, he's going to try and sort of use that to work his way up. I guess that's a climbing roll minus encumbrance.
Yep. Jericho.
How heavy is the this guy? Conductor.
He's a small guy. We'll say he's 160 pounds.
Alright, so that will be heavy encumbrance. So that's minus 3.
All right, now Jericho, what do you?
Except that will fail.
It's easy. All right, so you get up.
No progress.
You don't lose. You don't gain any progress. Yeah, you don't lose anything. You're trying to, and you kind of try to grab that next one, and it slips, but you don't get nowhere. Jericho, but you're still stable, gripped on the lattice, the support lattice of the platform.
Right. As soon as Chavez starts reaching for other means of stability,
He is not. He still has the whip, but he is not. There's no tension on it right now.
right? Right. Yeah. Jericho's gonna wedge the handle in under the stairs there. He's going to draw his pistol, and he's going to shoot Fleece in the face.
All right. All right.
Fossey approves.
And I'm going to plot point it.
That's fine. Fleece looks like he's about to do another shake with this angry look on his face. He looks up, sees the pistol pointed at him, and you get that, oh, that was a bad idea. And your pistol goes off. And even though he shot in the face, he Wilhelms on the way down.
You've got to.
It's a gurgly Wilhelm.
You've got to so have him survive the fall, and he lands on the sort of bank of the river or the gorge.
He's really injured.
And he's going, I'm still alive. And then the train lands on him.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, you thought he shot him in the face, and you blew like his lower jaw and cheek out.
I'm all right.
And he's like, sitting there like, ow. He landed in some brush that slowed his fall just enough, and he's laying there like, wait, I'm not dead. Okay.
But
so,
I'm very badly injured.
I'm only badly injured.
All right. Describe how you guys get out of this.
All right. Well,
We don't.
after
We all die. It's terrible.
after that,
That's
we've
a
still got
horrible-
the upper whip secured. Chavez is basically climbing up the lattice there. Jericho's within arm's reach of the actual edge of the caboose area, so he can pull himself up and then get up onto the railroad ties and actually off the caboose itself. He can use the whip to pull Chavez up, who presumably still has hold of the conductor. So we can chain that together as long as the caboose doesn't release immediately. We'll be good to go.
Right. So just as you put that plan into action, you have your whip latched onto a railroad tie that's not, that looks really stable and not gonna like go loose on you. Chavez, I assume you start to make your climb, and you have like one hand on the whip. Oh, perfect. Okay, so as you're starting to climb, all of a sudden there's another shift as the remains of the bridge kind of gives out, and everything kind of just drops. And you have that moment where you're just kind of sucked right through the door with the conductor all together.
Who is passed out by now?
Yeah, and
He said, "Nope, I'm done."
So there's that moment where everyone on the other end of the bridge kind of watches in horror as no one sees anything happen, and you hear the scream of Bobby go falling down, and then a few moments later, the caboose just kind of teeters and just drops.
I've got an idea. So just before the caboose drops, Chavez is climbing the lattice of that thing with the conductor, and the caboose gives way. Chavez will sort of leap. As the caboose falls away, Chavez will sort of, just one arm will sort of catch one of the cross beams of the bridge, and he'll be hanging from this one arm off the bridge with the conductor hanging below him.
And that is, everyone kind of does the gasp as they see it drop, and then as Bobby's sitting there thinking to himself, I lived, and he looks up, hears the screech of metal, and he's like, I die, and this. You have, the scene will end with Chavez holding the conductor dangling over the end of the bridge, Jericho kind of with the whip ready to, grab him and pull him back up. Everyone else on the other side of the bridge kind of just watching and just like abject like horror for a moment, and then like everyone does this elated, at least the civilians do, yay! And that's how we'll cut the scene.
And the caboose explodes for no reason.
Well,
And the train-
there's sticks of dynamite in there, so the compression of the fall. So there's a moment, and then there's a kaboom.
No, you said Bobby had some sticks of dynamite in his pockets.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yep, he did.
So he goes off like a blasting cap when the caboose hits him.
And the train, unburdened by the caboose, begins to climb in the correct direction again.
It starts to, the conductor after the explosion, like, puts full brake, kills the engine, and with your help sets full brake, and he kind of does the steps out, and what's going on back there, that kind
Well,
of thing.
I'm getting everybody off the damn train, unless so it doesn't slide off, because that'd be terrible.
And scene. Leaving
That was
poor
crazy stuff.
Chavez and Jericho on the other side of the bridge. I really should have. I wish I could find had a better picture, a background with the actual gorge.
Yeah.
trellis. I could not.
I'd
find
imagine
a
there'd be-
trellis bridge anywhere. I tried. I looked for a flat trellis top down. I was even using Google Maps at one point.
The last,
Did you see the
last one
Orient
I remember
Express one that I posted?
Actually, well, there's that. There's
You posted an Orient Express one? What?
there was
Yeah,
there was one of those in the Lincoln Vampire Hunter movie. I think they had one of those in the Lone Ranger, the recent
Yeah,
one.
they did.
Well, but not like a top
But
down.
unfortunately, that's a terrible movie.
I saw a lot of like images, but I didn't have one that was a.
There it is again.
Oh well, yeah, yeah, I see those. But what I meant was like to have the battle map with the gorge in it.
Oh, well, that's another matter.
Oh,
Actually, it's
Well,
well, that shouldn't be that hard to
bridge.
create one. You just need a rail to stick over the gorge. You should get the two of them
That's true. I
separately.
guess I could have done that.
you had a graphic designer in your group.
Yeah, I know, right?
There
I
you
think
go.
the trickier part's getting the actual train bits sorted out. Actually, you know what I would probably have done with that was do that. Oh man. No, I think I would have done that in
That's pretty
SketchUp.
cool.
Actually arranged the cars in SketchUp.
Yeah, I know how to use SketchUp.
It's not that hard.
I don't have the time and the inclination at this point to use SketchUp.
Well, the thing is, it's not that difficult to use. Never mind, it won't do exactly what you want to do. But for getting a proper three-dimensional understanding of a scene, that is very effective.
So, well, that's it. I have nothing further for tonight.
So points.
That was
All of
pretty
them.
cool.
So I will give. So here's a question for you guys. Since I'm trying to do the plot points that can be converted to character points for 2 to 1 at the end, do you guys want to still progress at a rate of 2, or would you rather progress at a rate of 1 with the option to turn your plot points into character points? I'm fine either way. It's more for what you guys want to do. If you guys feel like you're, progressing super fast, or if you're just on the right pace.
I guess that depends on how often we actually play this campaign.
I'm cool with 1, and then you can convert your plot points.
Okay. That's 1 vote. Here, let's do this.
You remember you got check and X on there, so
you can vote for or against.
As someone who spent both plot points, I have no objection.
So your check is you want to, and X is you want 1, or 1 is good for you.
now how are you converting those?
2 to 1, 2 plot points for 1.
Right.
And blank is don't care.
Oh, and Chavez and Jericho will get an additional plot point for next week.
Oh, well, in that case,
Is that for...
me.
Okay, so the plot points don't refresh per session?
They don't. You get 2 every session, but you will start with 3 next time we play, or you'll have 3 for the next session.
Alright.
Because I'm giving you a plot point now, because of the craziness that happened with the caboose.
Alright, so does that mean we can use that plot point to convert to character points?
Yes, if you have remaining plot points.
Alright, then
Right.
Chavez will do that.
I suppose that'll get me an even 2, and then next time we can deal with the the particulars. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose I could go with 1 as a standard if we're going to do that.
All right. So it looks like the vote is 2-4, 3 for, to maintain status quo, 2 for abstain, and 1 stay with 1. So we will stay with.
Sorry, which are the votes?
Check mark is vote for 2 CPs for. Okay. So X.
Yeah, then I'm altering my vote because I want 1 point plus convert leftover plot points.
So we're totally tied.
Or tied it up.
So those people that abstained will have to vote.
GM
I
breaks.
refuse. I don't care.
GM
Well,
breaks
I
ties.
won't. Here's what. Yeah. So here's what we could do: is I don't know who's voting what. So whoever. Well, I do know who's abstained, so it really doesn't matter, I guess, at this point. So
GM breaks ties.
I prefer to just go to the one character point for.
There you go. We're done.
That'll work.
So say we all.
But since this is the end of this train thing, I'll give you guys the 2 because it's the end of a singular full scenario, and then convert your CPs or your plot points to CPs as you see fit, and we'll go from there.
And unused CPs carry over to next week.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, not unused CP. Unused plot points carry over to next week. No?
Unused do not, except for this scenario with Chavez and Jericho. Well, if you guys burned yours.
Chavez is burning his.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm burning mine.
Okay. So no, not normally. I would have allowed it for Chavez and Jericho in the case that you only had 1 plot point remaining to carry over, just because of the fancifulness of the scenario or the end sequence.
Because giving us 1 at the end is kind of pointless.
Well,
if they don't carry over.
Exactly. But if you only had 1 remaining and I gave you 1, that's 2 for a character point or to carry it over. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're all good.
Moans, groans, gripes, complaints. Anything you would have liked to see done differently? Anything I could is there probably anything I could have done to include everyone a little bit more in that very last sequence?
I think even just a crappy pencil sketch of the train situation might have been easier on the brains.
I can't think of anything at the moment. I thought it was good. I had fun.
I thought the whole crisis was very suspenseful.
Were you scared?
Yeah, a little bit.
See, again, yeah, it was one of those scenarios where. Hold on, that was kind of interesting.
I was deeply concerned about the dynamite.
Well, again, to be fair, I intend most of that to be the narrative devices to spur action, not necessarily to kill PCs. I wasn't necessarily expecting how the very end came out, with the train kind of, with the caboose and the combat and the caboose to go that way, but it did work out in the end, and I kind of plotted that out as Jericho did the race through, and I'm like, oh, I know what I'm going to do here. So that kind of is a little bit impromptu. it could have ended with the same, very similar, where if you guys had run backwards, jumped off, or done anything else, and then pulled that pin, it would just skated off and blown up, with all the guys inside of it or whatever. It happened a little differently because I wasn't expecting Jericho to be in the position he was, but it worked out perfectly. So PCs positioned themselves in the right spot to make it happen better than I could have done.
The only thing I could possibly offer is maybe have the end of the other end of the train more dangling off the end, so that Wallinger and Ponty could pull off some thrilling heroics as they dodged these cannons that roll off the tray and such.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And since you shot that chain, the logs and that kind of thing, I see where you're going with it. I got a little tunnel vision there. I did play up a little. I tried to play up a little bit of that suspense with Wallinger and Ponty, or with Sarah nearly going over the edge, but they rode so darn well.
And then you could have also had, because the train come to an abrupt halt, you could have had some funny moments like, what is it, Slate? Was it Slate that was with, no, Fosse. End up, because everyone gets thrown around, like end up between the legs of whatever her name was.
Oh,
Everwood.
Everwood.
So an awkward moment for comedic
comedic
roleplay.
Interesting. There is a moment that could have worked too if something like that happened, and she exclaims the name James instead of Jacob.
I don't know anything about what you're talking about. Not at all.
What's that headline going to be, Mr. Fosse?
That's a good question.
Oh, hey, speaking of that, it has occurred to us that because of the streaming and the recording of the streaming, doing the huge write-ups doesn't seem to make as much sense anymore. It's not as necessary as it used to be. So chances are pretty good probably going to start downgrading that to just a bulletless summary.
Good idea.
Although
Which will be faster.
the write-ups do benefit the what is it, GURPS Day blog.
Well, they'll still be there. It'll still be there, just in less of a prose format.
Well, when we come back to a campaign that we haven't visited in a year or more, the most recent one is useful. So maybe at the end of a campaign, we have a full write-up.
That'd work.
Yeah, it depends on who's doing it.
Well, it's either you or Phil, usually.
Well, I know with this one, I know that it wasn't in-depth write-ups. It was just kind of like news bulletins, which I thought was just perfect. They weren't very long. They didn't need to be. Didn't have to be like line by line or moment by moment.
That's true.
Yeah, the Fosse articles worked well.
Alright, so are we done with streaming? No more stream talk necessary?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, Could have been done with that a little earlier. But yeah.
Good night, stream.
Good night. Yeah, well, I'll be the same, not doing.
Yeah, don't do that.